November 8th is quickly coming upon us. That is Election Day. I'm Angela Ahbez-Anderson, and I am a candidate for the Asbury Park City Council seat. I want to thank APTV for this opportunity to be up close and personal. Now, I know that many of you have already received this door hanger that I've placed on your door. It gives you a little bit of information about me, and on the back it tells you what my platform is all about. But I want to get a little more intimate with you. I want to peel back the layers. I want you to see and know why I am running for city council. Number one, I believe that I am a problem solver, just like you. When I see problems here in the city, then that activates me because I want to know what can I do to affect change. Because just like you, I have the power within me to affect change. When you talk about quality of life, what affects you on Borden, DeWitt, Sunset, and Deal? It affects all of us in this beautiful 1 square mile plus town. And I'm thinking about quality of life because there are folks that are living there that are afraid to sit out on their front porch because of the gun violence. We have had families who have lost their loved ones, young men who were just visiting their mom or on their way to the store and were murdered. I also am a victim of that. I lost my adopted son. He was murdered. So I understand how it feels and what it means to feel safe in the community that you live in. That is a problem for me when the quality of life is not being enjoyed by everyone. So that is something that I will work on. I look at our seniors, our children, our most vulnerable. They need to be able to walk and have safe streets. Oftentimes, especially during the summer, people are so anxious to get to the beach that they're flying up and down First Avenue, Springwood Avenue, and not a care in the world. But there are people that are in wheelchairs. There are children that are crossing the street trying to get to a playground. So I am definitely in favor of safe streets for pedestrians, bikers, and those who ride their scooters, and especially our seniors. You know, the other day, I was on First Avenue, and there was a senior. She was in her electric wheelchair, and she was right in the middle of First Avenue, not knowing that there was traffic behind her. I pulled up alongside of her, and I asked her, are you okay? Because I thought that her battery was depleted. And she said, no, she's okay. There was not a bike lane for her to ride her electric wheelchair. That has to be corrected. It's on one side of the town, but not on the other. And what about that sewage treatment plant that we have? You know, it's really smelly for our seniors. That's something that needs to be addressed. And if we don't handle that, when we have another superstorm, and we will, we're going to be paying the price for that. Our iconic buildings such as Paramount, Convention Hall, Holy Spirit. I want to work with our council and mayor so that we can put in a historic preservation ordinance. Those buildings, especially Convention Hall and Paramount, are just sitting there deteriorating. We can't continue to have that. That's something that I want to correct. While I was canvassing, door knocking, I met some of our residents. And I asked them, because there was one gentleman that was cutting tile for his neighbor, and he was in the building trades. And I asked him, I said, well, have you been working on any of the developments here in Asbury Park? And he said, no, he can't even get a job. Why is that? Why are we not hiring people that live and work within our city? So I'm in favor of bringing in workforce development, the building trades, so that we can have job security, we can have pensions, and we can also have a prevailing wage. And guess what? I have spoken to some of the building trades, and they offer apprenticeships for our students. So these are the things that I am hoping to address once I am in office, working with our current council and our mayor. I am hoping to earn your vote so that I can be the voice for you. Now, early voting begins October 29th, and it runs through November 6th. And you should receive a card in the mail that looks like this here. On the reverse side, it tells you that if you live here in Asbury Park, and you do, then you can go to the Neptune Senior Center and you can cast your vote. And in that little box right here, there are the times. So don't throw away this card. I hope that you will consider voting for me. My name is Angela Ahbez-Anderson, and I am a candidate for Asbury Park City Council. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Sonja Mack, and I'm running for the position of mayor in the city of Asbury Park. Hi, community. I would like to welcome myself. I am a two-time business owner. I have a lot of degrees, and one is child care. I'm here for the children, yet I'm here for the community. We need to get together collectively as a community, and we need to figure out every situation from homelessness, from rent control, from taxes, from youth mobilization, from violence, from every and anything that matters to the community. But together we have to. We have to go to town meetings, we have to go to council meetings, we have to go to Board of Education meetings. People have to really wake up and see, without each other in the community, how the community is not thriving. So this is my saying, when the people rise, the community thrives. So please come out and vote Sonja Mack, November 8th, 2022. Thank you, and y'all have a blessed day.
Hello, my name is John Moore, M-O-O-R, no E. I'm the mayor of Asbury Park, and on November the 8th, I'm seeking re-election, so hopefully you'll come out and vote for me. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My family's been in Asbury Park for 3 generations. I worked for the city for 31 years, retired as Deputy Director of Department of Public Maintenance. I grew up on the boardwalk. I just love this city. I was on the Board of Education for 12 years. I was a former Vice Chair and Commissioner of the Asbury Park Housing Authority, a former trustee of the Asbury Park Historical Society, and a member of the Asbury Park Fishing Club, which is the longest running saltwater fishing club in America. I'm very proud to be a member of the Asbury Park Fishing Club. I first got elected to council in 2013, then mayor in 2015. In 2015, the ratables of Asbury Park were $1,216,000,000. In 2022, starting this year, there were $2,331,000,000, a difference of $1,114,000,000, about 92%. So in the past, just from 15 to 22, we've done exceptionally well as far as bringing ratables into the city. Myself and Councilmember Jesse Kendall are running together as Asbury Together. And while all terms are challenging, this past term was very challenging because of the COVID-19 epidemic. We, the council, and when I doubt if I say I whatsoever, I'm going to keep on saying we because it's all 5 council members, Amy Quinn, Eileen Chapman, Yvonne Clayton, and Jesse Kendall, and myself. And I get the same vote as mayor as everybody else. It's a weak mayor, former governor. But when COVID-19 was starting to hit the country, we saw that it was much worse than people were saying, and we took action before the state of New Jersey. We shut down the restaurants and the bars with a 9 o'clock closing. We put in other precautionary measures before the state of New Jersey did. So I give us credit for that. During COVID, we provided face masks and sanitizers for all city residents. We've provided monies for home repairs, rental assistance, and utility bills for residents that qualify. We've had several food programs cooperating with Fulfill for residents who needed this program. We provided small business grants. One of the proudest days of this past term was March 13th, 2021. The city, the county, and Second Baptist Church got together, and through the county getting us the dosage for the shots, we started giving out shots on the 13th at Second Baptist Church to city residents. Some other recent accomplishments that the council, again, we have done is we've stabilized the municipal tax rate, which resulted in the city's mooting rating going from an A2 to A1, which means if we have to borrow money in the future, we get it at a better interest rate because we're doing well. The municipal tax levy in 2019 was $16,950,000. 4 years later is $15,600,000, a decrease of $1.3 million or 8%, which is kind of unheard of with municipalities. So we've done a good job as far as stabilizing the city's finances. This past year, we added $100,000 to the recreation budget to facilitate new programs. We increased the staff of the social services department as well as increasing their budget, and we were working with preferred behavioral health. This year, with Eileen Chapman leading the way, we started a participatory budget process allocating $250,000 for projects that every resident from age 14 and up can vote on for what they really think is needed in the city of Asbury Park. And that will be the vote will be sometime this December. We continue to make major repairs to our infrastructure. 13 road projects were started, finished, or ready to go, which is some 4.56 miles of the city streets, or 14%, which were completely done curb to curb, and also replacing the sewer lines, which were over 100 years old, and the original terracotta pipes that had many holes in them. So because they had so many holes in them, so many cave-ins, so much groundwater was getting into the line. When it got to the sewer plant, we were actually treating more rainwater than sewage. So we save money by spending money up front by repairing the sewer lines, and we save it on the back end where we're not treating that at the sewer plant. With the state's help, and we were just approved yesterday for a partial of it, we are bringing back the UEZ program with $526,000 this first year. With grants, we installed 3 EV charging stations on 7th Avenue, Madison Avenue, and Springwood Avenue. So we hit all 3 of the 4 quadrants of the city with charging stations for EV cars. The city was awarded a Sustainable New Jersey Silver Certificate, a Sustainability New Jersey grant for composting, and designated a Mayor's Healthy Town Award. We have addressed short-term rentals. We passed a rent control ordinance. We've accepted and applied for many grants to do with speeding, safety on the streets. We got to get people to slow down. It's a priority. There's no question about it. One grant we just got in February 22 was for $680,000. That's for an Asbury Avenue bikeway project. We got a Safe Streets to Transit program in February 2022 to upgrade the intersection of the traffic signal at the middle school intersection, Prospect and Bangs, where Sheffield's and the middle school is. So that's there. And this October, we applied for 2 more projects, transportation alternative grant programs for sidewalks along Deal Lake Drive from Webb to Main Street, and a Transit Village grant to purchase and install decorative bicycle racks and other amenities along Springwood, Cookman, and at the Transportation Center. We have mandated all new projects outside of the waterfront because there's a separate sign form that can be built in the waterfront that we cannot overturn unilaterally. But any development outside of the waterfront, if they want to develop, they have to provide 20% affordable housing units, and they also have to provide a workforce development program if they want anything from the city whatsoever. So that's a big step. Recent renovations were made to Springwood Avenue Park, including a new message board for the west side, major renovations to Sunset Avenue Park, as well as the rebuilding of the playground on the 7th Avenue beach. Just this past week, we start the renovations on the north end of the boardwalk, and we'll be replacing all the boards and then moving to the south end to complete that job. So that is some of the projects we've tackled. We still have many in front of us. Some of the most important ones are the violence and the shootings, the opioid epidemic, working with the homeless, making our streets safer by continually applying for grants. So I think we're doing a good job. Is it perfect? No, but I don't know one government, be it at federal, state, or city or county level, that is perfect. But I think, again, this council, we five, Amy Quinn, Eileen Clayton, Eileen Chapman, Yvonne Clayton, Jesse Kendall, myself have done well. So I'm asking for everybody if they could please kindly come out and vote for Asbury Together on Election Day. John Moore for mayor and Jesse Kendall for council member.
Hello, my name is Felicia Simmons, and I am running for the position of Asbury Park Mayor. I am a lifelong Asbury Park resident, Monmouth County. I have a real love and affinity for the city of Asbury Park. The reason why I am running this year for mayor is because we're at a crucial time in history, but specifically for Asbury Park, on keeping the vision of Asbury, the family, the community, the 12-month city. We are a unique group of people who come together to live, to have fun, and to work. We have a unique space. Asbury Park is one of the only urban cities in Monmouth County in entirety. The only urban city in entirety. We are federally slated for anything in which we can imagine. Our issue is, what do we imagine? Do we have a plan? A few years ago, a friend of mine came to me and said, what do you want to do? You're out here, you're advocating, you're working, you're doing great things. What do you want to do? And when you figure out what do you want to do, put it down on paper, right? And then go about how do you accomplish those things, right? So I thought about housing. I thought about financing. I thought about education, right? And then I went about how do you get those things done, right? How do you make a plan to make these things happen? So I went out and I got a lot of friends throughout the state. I researched, I read, I went after the things that I felt were great for the city. For one example, I put the current mayor and the councilwoman, Yvonne Clayton, in a car and took them to Newark so they can see a tech world, a full on Cisco training program, right, with other great things that we can bring right back here to Asbury Park and the funding sources. Also, I heard that there was a shortage of vaccines, right, back when COVID first happened and people were scared. And I went out and I found that the Asbury Towers vaccinated their whole building. And our current mayor said they got it themselves. So I went about to find out how do we get it ourselves. And I went and partnered with New Jersey Black Women Physicians, Blue Cross Blue Shield, the state of New Jersey and brought together a coalition of great people like New Jersey Housing Authority and St. Augustine's Church, and we came together and formulated a group called CURES, Communities United to Eradicate Disparities. And we brought COVID testing and we brought COVID vaccines right here to town without having to book it online. If you're in the midst of your fear, we found a cure, right? Ourselves. We don't need a savior to come in. We have the great resources here in Asbury Park to put together something that is astounding, right? We can be a city, not just a gym by the shore, but something that can set off into the future. I found a great friend that lives right here in Asbury Park who said we can turn this whole city into a hot spot, right? This was a few years ago. Now, if you imagine before COVID, if we imagine that if we had free Wi-Fi and we turned the city into a free hotspot, would our children have fell behind when COVID hit and they didn't have the resources to sustain it? No, we wouldn't. It's because we didn't have a plan. We didn't have a direction, right? Together, we can come up with this plan. I have my own, but that's just me and my vision, right? We need the whole of Asbury Park to come together with a vision. And it's the perfect time. Why? Because we're about to go into our master plan, a real plan to develop the zoning, the future projections. What do we want in this city, right? And this time we're going to do it in a way that is diverse, right? And not just diverse, but integrated. We have a very diverse city, but we're very segregated. We have to come in an integration of all these great cultures and all these great people and bring it together for a plan that will take us to 2030 and beyond. Again, my name is Felicia Simmons. I'm looking to be your mayor. I think I am the right person for the job right here, right now, next year, the year after that, and the year after that. Thank you for your time and have a great day. Go out and vote. Early voting starts on October 29th. Our closest polling site is Neptune Senior Center. Come out and vote. From November 29th, for October 29th to November 6th, early voting. Then come out and show your support on November 8th. Thank you and have a great day.